What's up everyone? It's late July here in the Epic Garden, and you might be thinking, yeah, it's kind of time for things to close down, and it's actually not true. There's tons of stuff that you can still grow in late July, August, etc. So we're gonna go over just 5 recommendations. There's plenty more, and maybe I'll do another video, but we'll go through 5 ones that I've got my eye on and I would encourage you to experiment with in the garden. Recommendation number 1 would be basil. Is that a boring, basic bro recommendation? Probably, but it's just a plant that you should probably always have growing in your garden. So you can mix it up with a couple different varieties. You could use spicy clove, you could use purple ruffles, you could go Greek columnar basil, you could do my personal favorite, which would be lettuce leaf basil. Way back in my Instagram feed, there's actually a picture of lettuce leaf basil bigger than my head in the feed, and it's an incredible variety. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if it's bigger than my head, which is a very large sized head that I used to get made fun of for in high school, and I'm still scarred to this day about, then it is a large leaf variety. I'll tell you that much right now. Our next one is going to be beans. Beans are a plant that it's relatively short days to harvest, right? 45 to 60 days, it kind of depends on the variety, but one that's always my favorite, always my go-to, and I love seeing new people try it out, is dragon's tongue bean. It's a bush variety, which I'm preferential to in my garden, trying to get as much sun in my garden as I can. So I always try for a bush bean if possible. So dragon's tongue bean would be one that I would highly recommend you check out. So our third recommendation is you could grow cilantro, but actually I want to recommend something that's a little different that has some qualities that really make it a good choice for this time of year, and that would be popolo. So that is a Mexican alternative to cilantro that does much better in heat and actually does worse in the cold. So cilantro is a plant that we all want a lot of in the summer because we're trying to make our salsas, we're trying to make tacos for taco night, but it really doesn't do that well. It'll bolt like crazy. So if you grow popolo instead, then you get more or less the same flavor. It kind of has like an arugula-ish, cilantro-ish vibe to it, but it just does way better in the heat, and you're gonna have a cilantro-esque herb to use for taco night anytime you want. The next variety I think we should check out is any kind of chard variety. Chard just grows absolutely vigorously if given the right growing conditions. You could certainly squeeze in a shoulder crop as our summer starts to wind down into fall, and you may even be able to get 2 crops out depending on your growing zone. So highly recommend that. Chard for me is one that I will just let grow to full maturity. I don't often pick and cut and come again it. I'll chop the whole thing and I'll make a big old stew in my Instant Pot or do something with it, and it's just a wonderful plant that I like to have a couple different varieties of. You could do the orange varieties, you could do the rhubarb varieties, you could do the rainbows, or you could just keep it simple and go with the white stemmed varieties. Any of those will do really well and they will grow prolifically in the garden, especially right now. Our final one is a fruit. For once in my life, I'm actually recommending a fruit. So I used to think, which is funny because I always dispel people of this logic that, oh, I just didn't have the space to grow certain things. Well, you can grow a midget type of watermelon, and that can do really, really well. I'm actually experimenting right now over in my side yard with golden midget watermelon, which I really find to be a prolific one. It's growing like crazy, but I'm growing it vertically in one of these Gardener's Vertex tomato cages, which you may actually be able to peek in the corner over there. I find it to be an absolutely wonderful, wonderful golden midget watermelon variety. It's just a really good one. So see if you can experiment with that. Maybe if you don't really like that or you want to try something different, you could throw maybe a certain type of squash in, move into that fall winter style squash. But those are some recommendations. Don't think that maybe you didn't have as much success in the garden this year as you would have liked. Don't think, oh, next year, gonna try next year. Just do it this year. There's no reason not to try to squeeze in even more. What's the worst case scenario? You lose time that was gonna get lost anyways, right? So there's no point in not trying. So I hope you have a recommendation for me down in those comments. Good luck in the garden and keep on growing.